Welcome to Plastic Profiles. How are you doing, everybody?
All right.
with me, I wasn't expecting an Australian.
No,
with me, as always, is Steve the Writing Dad.
Hey, mates!
I don't want to write Martin. That's not Australian, but that's.
Well, I was trying to do like the Michael Rosen. It's all right. If you've seen those like memes.
Okay, I gotcha. With us today, our special guest today is Scotty Cameron. You've probably seen him out in the chats in G.I. Joe content and probably comic content and all kinds of
What's
content.
on Joe Mind?
What's on Joe Mind? He's out there. He's in the, what do they call that? He's at the battlegrounds. He's in the
I'm in the letters pages of Duke number 3, Boy Rival 6, Cobra Commander 3, and G.I. Joe American.
So you've seen his name. He's around. And this is what he looks like.
If you listen to the Movies to Watch Before You Die podcast, I'm like the #1 listener who's always in the mail segment or Fandom Optimist or Jump on the Batwagon.
Oh, and Joe on Joe. Joe on Joe.
I was a guest on that.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. All right. So yeah. So we got a guest, and we're here to talk about General Hawk.
General Hawk,
the man, the myth, the legend. He's awesome. So yeah, General Hawk. It's a thing. He is something different. So yeah. So let's get right into this. Hawk came out. Okay, so I'm teaching now. So this is Hawk version 2 in the classic line. Okay, keep track of the numbers. This is version 2. Now this is classified version 1. Okay, so this particular original Joe Hawk figure off to a rough start. Came out in 1986, and that's the file card right there. He is Hawk. He is the G.I. Joe commander. File name Abernathy Clayton M. Primary military specialty artillery. Yes, I say that like a question. Secondary military specialty radar. Birthplace Denver, Colorado. Grade Brigadier General. That's the 1 star. So you'll see that on his helmet there, and probably on his shirt lapels. Yep, it's on the classified as well. Hawk was the original field commander of the Joe team before he got his general star and was booted upstairs to honcho the entire G.I. Joe operation. He's a West Point graduate and has a list of special education credits as long as his arm. But he still managed to get the main body of his experience out there where it counts, on the battlefield. Hawk's the type of commander who goes out and gets shot at like everyone else. Troops respect that. They know he won't ask them to do anything he isn't willing to do himself. And that's why they are willing to do anything Hawk tells them. So yeah, Hawk, the ultimate field commander for G.I. Joe. Anybody have anything they want to comment on so far?
I always thought when I would watch the cartoons, Hawk already, he was always like one of my favorite figures because he was like a dad figure to the rest of the G.I. Joes. You know, I like you could tell that he was a big deal, but he wasn't a jerk about it. You know.
All right.
Well, yeah, and Devils do a real American hero. Cobra Commander paralyzes him, and that like leads the Joes into like this sort of like voided leadership struggle, and that's where Joe Colton, G.I. Joe himself, comes in to fill that.
Right.
It was a much more of a Nick Fury figure than Hawk.
That's right. Yeah, he is a little bit. Yeah, I have some familiarity with the Devils do era, but I do know. I kind of know vaguely what happens. I don't know that issue by issue sort of thing, but yeah, I do recall Hawk in his Professor X outfit.
Yeah,
I guess it's not really funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. He's in a wheelchair. No.
Yeah, and America's Legion goes a little insane because Cobra Commander is missing in action.
Right.
So it's revealed that he's Chief of Staff Garrett Friedlow in the White House.
I did not know that. So before we go on, I just want to remind everyone where I get these classic GI Joe images, the file cards, the toy packaging is from 3D Joe's. Here we go. 3D Joe's, 3D Joe's, 3D Joe's, 3D Joe's, 3D Joe's, 3D Joe's, 3D Joe's. Dun 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 dun. Yeah.
Doing a little bit of the John Williams Indiana Jones.
Kind of. That's dun 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 dun. A-Team, I think, right? That's what I intended to sound like.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I totally got that.
Yeah. Right.
But you know what though? You came with the sauce this time.
Right? Yeah, I came prepared. I just forgot for a second, but I did have it.
You came with the sauce.
Okay, so from his file card, we know that he is, in addition to being, did I read that in this file card? What am I? Hold on, was the original figure? Okay, we know he's a West Point graduate. We do know that. So, United States West Point Academy, that's the logo that's on the thumbnail and the little logo that's there at the top. West Point develops leaders of character through a 47-month process through its academic, military, and physical programs. This West Point Leader Development System, WPLDS or WPLDS, synchronizes the different... I don't know why I insist on reading that as a word. When they put the letters together, I insist on trying to read it.
Oh, goodness.
Synchronizes the different programs and ensures an emphasis on character development is integrated into each element. West Point's culture of character is best exemplified by the Cadet Honor Code. The Academy's focus on leadership development ensures its graduates thrive in complex environments and are prepared for a career of professional excellence and service to the nation. The Honor Code is, a cadet will not lie, cheat, steal, or tolerate those who do. So yeah, it's a 47-month process. So I'm going to take you through day by day here on the next slides.
That's what I was hoping you say that.
I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm just kidding. There's only like one or two more of West Point, and then we're done. It's very cool. Go ahead and check it out. A lot of, well, we'll get to it. There's still more. The United States Military Academy, founded on March 16th, 1802, is a 4-year college that builds, educates, trains, and inspires the Corps of Cadets to be commissioned leaders of character, committed to the Army values, and ready for a lifetime of service to the Army and nation. West Point graduates earn Bachelor of Science degrees and are commissioned as second lieutenants in the United States Army. Notable graduates include Buzz Aldrin, 21 total astronauts, Dwight Eisenhower, Stonewall Jackson, Ulysses S. Grant, George S. Patton, and so many more people.
That's
Dwight Eisenhower, famously from Abilene, Kansas.
Yeah.
And I'm a Kansas resident.
Yeah, Kansan? Is that Kansan?
Yeah, Kansan.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's rookie move, Steve.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Oh. Whew. Goodness gracious, this is a day.
Yeah.
It's all right, though. We're rocking and rolling and embracing.
We are. We're rocking and rolling and whatnot. West Point instills the values and honesty, integrity. Like, that's what they I won't say they beat it into you, but that's what they preach, right? So in theory, you learn that, you soak it in, and that becomes part of your culture. And I feel like that's what they're trying to get at in creating Hawk, is that he is all about the foundations. Will not lie, cheat, steal, or tolerate those who do. Professionalism, honor. I think that's all Hawk there. I think that's all about Hawk. I think there's been a couple other Joes that have been to West Point. Certainly none that we've covered so far, but yeah. So when you come out of that, you're already conditioned. You're already commissioned as a second lieutenant. So you're already an officer, the lowest officer, the butter bar, but you're still an officer. So yeah, anybody have any thoughts on that?
So second lieutenant, that was V1 Hawk's rank, right?
He was a colonel. Yeah. So the one that came with the MMS, the missile system, that was Colonel Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Right. And so for Steve, and that's version 1 of the original classic line of toys.
So
Probably will be version 2 of the classified would be my
Oh,
guess.
yeah, retro figure.
Okay.
I would guess so. It would be perfect to do that, but I don't know anything. I'm just a guy with a mouse.
I mean, Retro Duke's helmet would work for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With the visor and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So we'll move on. So here's my general facts and observations.
Ooh, nice. See what you did there.
Ding. So Hawk on the file card and toy is clearly portrayed wearing the Combat Infantryman badge, the CIB, as well as jump wings. So if you look at the original toy on the toy packaging, you can see this longer rectangular thing and then a smaller one.
Okay.
So the qualifications for the Combat Infantryman badge is performing duties while personally present and under fire while serving in an assigned infantry or special forces capacity in a unit of brigade, regimental, or smaller size engaged in active ground combat. U.S. Army infantry or special forces officers in the grade of colonel or below, Army enlisted soldiers and warrant officers with an infantry or special forces military occupational specialty. Okay, so what that means is you have to be in an infantry, assigned to infantry, which he's not, and you have to be a colonel or below. So already we're kind of like, well, okay, how does that all fit in? I don't know, but let's keep going.
Okay. We learned so much here.
Yeah. So given his MOS, which officers don't have, by the way, they're above that, they don't have specialties like that, so to speak, is artillery. He would not have been eligible for the Combat Infantryman badge as the CIB, as it's exclusively for infantry. There's also no mention of him attending jump school, but sure enough, he's got wings right there, the 5 chump wings. But he obviously would have had to for his wings. The card commentary depicts the ultimate field leader, while the training listed doesn't match up. So here's where I kind of take some shots in the dark, just to, whatever. So was Mr. Hama, was he setting up, because we're not friends like that, Larry, setting up political and military intrigue?
He prefers Lars.
Right, Larold. Was he trying to set up some sort of big intrigue with having, we know that in the comics there are the jugglers, the cabal of generals working against, for their own interests, by having a young, inexperienced to the infantry field commander ahead of their terrorist anti-terrorist force. Is that possible? I don't know. It could be. However, Hawk's file card is a jumbled mess, probably, because it's not likely that you get that far as, so in order to win that badge, he would have had to been no higher than colonel. So maybe we'll get into speculation.
He would have been a G.I. Joe as in the slang.
He would have had to earn it. My guess, we're getting there.
You got some thoughts.
I've got a few thoughts.
You got some
so is Hawks okay? So maybe adding artillery and radar were added so that including them with the missile system would make sense. It's possible too. I don't know that there's any way to know all this stuff, but these are the things I think of. All right. So what's my theory, you ask? Because you asked. My theory is that the artillery and radar business were added to fulfill a specialty role on the team. So like how we say with a lot of the previous Joes, they'll have the primary and secondary. Well, there is no real secondary military specialty in RL. That's in my opinion, that's what role they fulfill on the team.
Okay.
Outside of the army. So, someone's ninja, and then secondary is accountant. Okay, so they're accountant, and then they go put on. Hey, don't laugh. Jinx is not laughing at you right now.
Shuriken, and he can balance your books.
Okay, she wasn't an accountant though. She was a file clerk or something, or secretary. I can't remember what she was, but yeah. So anyway, so they were added to fulfill a specialty on the team. So they didn't have anybody in charge of artillery. They might have knew they were coming out with an artillery toy. I don't know, but I got more thoughts coming. So if you look at his V1 file card, you'll see there is more detail on infantry training. I believe Hawk graduated from West Point. This is my theory. Mm-hmm. He graduated from West Point, commissioned as a second lieutenant, and he went into artillery. So what if you've done that, it means you haven't gone to jump school and you haven't gone to obviously he's not been in the infantry to do battle. Mm-hmm. So once he got to first lieutenant or captain, something like that, he can transfer into a different branch. And I think he transferred into infantry as a captain. And from there, he earned his jump wings. He went, took the jump school, and then once got into more battle, earned his CIB and all the battlefield acclaim he is known for.
Okay.
So once he assumed command of the Joe team with their limited roster at the time, he became the default artillery guy. It's a basic theory. We're not dealing with real life here. We're dealing with people trying to sell toys. I'm just trying to make sense of a backstory.
Basically superhero soldiers.
It has a lot of stuff in here. That's right. Every one of these guys is the best of the best of the best of the best.
That's right. That's right.
And
best of the best, sir.
Yeah, with honors. So unfortunately, I can't dig but so deep because we're not given any of his commands outside of the North Atlantic Range Command, which I don't think is a real thing. Maybe it has a different name, and I just don't know what that's supposed to be. That's probably. I did, which I don't normally do, but I checked the classified listing for General Hawk on the Pulse page, and they quoted that in the whole part about he was original field commander before he got booted upstairs and West Point grad and all that stuff. So I'm not claiming that they're watching the show. Mm-hmm. Plastic Profiles. Right. but they're definitely trying to use that same character build stuff about ultimate, team commander and that sort of thing. So anybody got anything to say about that?
No, man. I think you summed it up.
Yeah,
really
I did a lot of talking. A lot of talking there. It's heavy on the chit chat.
It's all right.
The cool stuff's coming though. The cool stuff's coming. So I bet Scotty, you got two of these picked out in your head already, just from what I know of you in our dialogues. Can anybody pick out one of these jackets, an icon jacket? Anybody take a wild shot in the dark whose jackets these belong to? Now I'll say this: only one of them is an actual historical type person. Everybody else is an actor.
Okay.
There's your hint. One is a real person's jacket. They're all real people, but only one's like an actual, not a celebrity. Right. There you go. So who wants to go first?
I feel like Harrison Ford is in there.
Okay. Is that how we're going to play it? All right, yeah.
Indiana Jones.
He's in there.
Indiana Jones on the...
Yeah, I meant to letter him. Doggone it.
Yeah.
Which one do you think it is?
The one next to the brown furry collar.
On the far left?
On the far left. Well, far left. There you go.
Yes, that's Indiana Jones's jacket.
All right.
Got that jacket is the A2 is what they call that jacket.
Okay. And
all right, well, hold on. Let me see if Scotty's got one.
Ooh, sorry. Ooh.
Nah, hey.
Almost tried to take the board. That's
yeah. This ain't Jeopardy, pal. Scotty, you got any of these?
Feel like one of these is one of these Dwight Eisenhower or
you're on the right path, but it's not Eisenhower.
MacArthur is one of these.
No. Again, you're on the right track. There's someone. He's had movies done about him. He was a very, very. You're in the right time frame, just not the right guy yet. All right, I'm gonna give one more to Steve. Steve, what you got?
All right, is the dude at the end? Is that Fonz?
You're talking about far right?
Yeah.
Hey!
Yes.
In all fairness, nearly all these references are way before Scotty's time, so
no worries. Because I'm usually
I've seen Indiana Jones.
No, I know. Well, yeah,
I'm usually the younger guy that doesn't get the references.
Yeah, there you go, Steve. This is just for you. I devised this whole thing so I could pick on Scotty.
This is ridiculous, man.
All right.
All
Do we
right.
give up on the guys in the middle?
This is not working out the way you thought it was going to work out. This is two already. I'm up 50%. All right.
All right. We giving up on the other two?
No, we're going to give up because otherwise I'm going to be here for a while.
Yeah, it's true. All right. So second from the left comes from a little known movie in the 80s. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm saying it right. Top Gun.
Oh, Maverick.
It just doesn't have the patches, but that's the jacket.
Okay.
And then the next one is Patton's jacket.
God, I was going to say Patton.
Yeah.
When you were
That
talking,
was my next guess after.
Patton.
The Top Gun jacket is a G1, and that would be my best guess of what Hawk is wearing. That's the idea of all this, is what jacket is Hawk actually wearing. Right. So my guess is that's the one he's probably wearing. The colors don't match on the fur, but maybe it's an option. I don't know. Patton's jacket, the one that's sort of Bane looking there, is a B3. And then there's Fonzie's, which is just kind of, they just made that in Hollywood. Yeah. So, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, Patton, I think I was just blanking, but I was thinking of the end of Retaliation when Colton hands Roadblock the pistol.
Yeah. That's right. Because Patton's famous, right there. Nice. Patton's famous for his pearl-handled revolvers that he keeps on both sides. And then, he's wearing the big old jacket there. And he is a 3-star general.
Buy more rounds.
Yeah. Bonds.
Buy more bonds. And I'm thinking like, this dude really loves bullets. Like,
buy us bullets. We're out here fighting. We need bullets. All right. Cool. Everybody's kung fu fighting.
Why don't you make the words bigger? Huh?
With a kung fu grip.
I didn't know you were going to get extracurricular and start reading them. Look at the pretty pictures. I am curious what general would wear a ring. Not what general, but what, he's wearing a ring on his not his wedding hand. So, what kind of, I don't know, is that a class ring from West Point maybe? Or I don't know. But anyway, so ultimately, my whole point for bringing up Patton at all really is, for one, he's an awesome general, but is I feel like Hawk is sort of styled after Patton a little bit. Obviously, Patton's. Am I lagging? Okay. Obviously, Patton's quite a bit older. Hawk is supposed to be probably late 40s, early 50s, something like that. So, anyways, Patton. So yeah, here we are. Now, fun time. We're talking toys. This is Hawk's 1986 packaging. We see him on the front there. This is the first year of the digital explosion. Explosion. And we can see in the bottom left corner of the package that's an ad for the Sergeant Slaughter action figure giveaway. I did that. I got that.
Yeah.
So there he's pointing the way. He's, let's go, men, So he's leading the troops. So here we go in the 86 Hawk breakdown. So there I've got the jump wings on top and then the CIB below it. And that's what those badges are that he's wearing there. Now, it's a different time in the 80s. I'm aware that not everything was, you could just put anything on anything, and probably trademarks and copyrights and all that weren't near as important. Maybe not important, but as enforced, as protected. Maybe not as protected as they are now. So we're going to put a little asterisk by that comment, and we'll see that here in a bit. So his accessories, helmet with goggles, they are molded on. He has a backpack. He has 2 pistols, one molded on his chest, and then he comes with one, and he's also got a holster molded on his side that is empty, so you could pretend he put it in there, but you can't really do it. And he does have a knife molded on his boot. So anybody have thoughts on what we've seen so far from this classic action figures? Really, this is one of my favorite action figures from the Joe line. This is one of my top 10.
All right.
Maybe top 5. Maybe.
just looking at the picture here, like what his eyebrows, they're very prominent.
Yeah. I think he used thickener and he tries to make them as big as possible. I think in West Point, eyebrow intimidation is a big thing.
A big kind of a bow to the brow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I didn't actually look at the eyebrows.
It works the same way.
Yeah, that's right. When he, yeah, it's really eyebrow intimidation is
that'll
is
get
the thing. Yeah. And his pistol, I don't have it on here, is a Walther PPK 9mm. That's like a James Bond type gun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we look at the gun on his chest, this is kind of like, I think this is his patent thing where he's got, it's like a gold gun. Like they don't issue gold guns generally. So I'm thinking that's like his personal, like favorite gun maybe, or something like
that's his Cobra killer.
Yeah, it's probably like the holster doesn't reflect it, but it could be like a hand cannon. Like he pulls it out like Joker from 89 Batman,
Yeah.
Like that's not a gun. This is a gun, that kind of thing. The one thing I didn't care for with this figure is the way the helmet fit. I felt like they needed to hollow it out a little bit more so it set down a little bit more on him, but
looks like a crash test dummy right now. Like,
yeah, it's a little large. It's a little large, but just an awesome figure. This Hawk was this was the only Hawk I ever had as a kid, and this was he saw a lot of time. Yeah. So we shall move on. Mm-hmm. This is the classified General Hawk packaging. We see on the front and back there, front's on the left. We see his battlefield, leading the charge on the battlefield. Now, one little Easter egg, if you see that little thing buzzing behind him, most people speculate that's version 3 Hawk. Buzz Lightyear Hawk, as he's commonly known. Or at least I call him anyway. It's ridiculous. It's absurd.
That is not a Star Brigade Hawk version 3.
No, Star Brigade is 4 or 5, if I recall. Version 4 or 5. But version 3 is no, he's not 4, because 4 they go back to this style look with the envelope hat, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think 5 is Star Brigade, I believe.
Well, yeah, when you said Buzz Lightyear, that's Star Brigade is what popped.
Oh, no. I was talking about G.I. Joe Star Brigade. This is he's got wings and a helmet that goes whoosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. Let me see if hold on. I'm going to go to 3D Joe's here because this is the right way to do it. And I'm going to share my screen so that you guys can see the glory of version 3 Hawk.
Yes.
So somewhere in between me and Scotty, those fans, because they played the video game, have a soft spot for this particular one. Let me share screen. Yes. 3D Joe's. 3D. There we go. So this is the Buzz Lightyear Hawk. Yeah. So there is a Star Brigade Hawk, and that is like 4 or 5. But this Hawk is this. I'm going to say something that Hillbilly Harper probably says. I'm going to say something that Hillbilly Harper probably says. This dog won't hunt. It's bad. It's real bad.
It looks more like it should belong to Star Brigade.
Yeah. Well, okay. Since we're on that path, let's go ahead and look at the Star Brigade Hawk. The battle commander is their Star Brigade Hawk. Boom. Just horrible. What'd they do to my boy?
He got a pink gun.
Yeah, he did.
That's sad to see.
He comes with armor bot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like something from Edge of Tomorrow, but with not as good, like coloring and.
Yeah. I like the head sculpt. The head sculpt does look like version 2 Hawk trying to do Gambit, but it's yeah.
Take it down. That hurts.
Stop it. Make it go away. All right. Remove that from stay up. Hey, there we are.
My goodness.
So that's what the speculation is. I don't think there's been official confirmation, but that's what that looks like in the back. There is version 3 Hawk trying to get the stones to the Infinity Gauntlet, I guess. I'm not sure why he's there.
His Unicron has come with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. And then we see there beside there, we see his loadout. They do a focus on his goggles, and he's got the star on his helmet. He's got a Yojo patch. All that is fine.
God, I'm sorry, man. That did something to me, man. That's a terrible figure.
Do you remember Life before then? It's actually not a bet. It's okay. You're talking about the Robo armor bot.
Yes.
Yeah. That's terrible. Yeah,
that's a terrible.
They reduced articulation, and it's nonsense.
Oh man, they just was like, yo, we give up. Nobody's buying this, right? All right. Whatever.
Well, kind of. That's kind of what. It's kind of. Yeah, they were. That was the last couple of years. Yeah.
It was getting into all those '90s design trends with all the over design.
Yeah, a lot of bright colors, a lot of
billions of patches and
all right, so let's and I'm not sure who did the artwork, but if you know, leave in the comments, because I don't know. Now we're doing the breakdown on this Hawk, and I have very complex feelings about this figure.
Do tell.
Because I love most of it. I do not like a little bit of it. And so I don't know. I feel like I want to say it's one of my top 10 classified figures, but there is part of me that says, no, that is not what you are. That's not who you are. I don't care. Okay, here we go. So let's do the breakdown first, and then we'll get into the nittiest of gritties. So he comes with a helmet with the General Star. He has 2 pistols, 2, one to go on the chest, one to go at the waist. He has 2 goggles, one to go over the helmet, and then one he can actually wear to simulate that you pulled it down. He comes with a grenade launcher. All right. He has a shotgun too. Why not? He has a sweet salt and pepper dew. Love that. Love it. And then gloved hands only, because he's about to do some crimes.
Yeah.
There's also like the trigger hands are like that.
Yeah, they're both they're both same hands.
It's the same as the Tomax and Zaymot.
Yeah. In my mind, if anyone's gonna have alternate hands, gloved and not, the General should have.
That guy. Yeah.
So if we remember some of the things that I asked us to asterisk early on about ranks and that sort of thing.
No.
Yeah, no, you're referencing it. Reference. I don't expect that they can use real, authentic Department of Defense logos and things like that. We saw with Gung Ho, both Gung Hos, they couldn't get the tattoo. They couldn't do the tattoo, whether they tried or couldn't or whatever. It doesn't matter. They felt they couldn't do it, and I trust them, because I'm sure they would rather have it on there than not. And so looking at his chest there on his jacket, one is kind of supposed to emulate, I think, jump wings. It's kind of got a wings with the little star in it. Like, it kind of looks like, it doesn't really look like jump wings, but my guess, it looks like flight airline pilot wings, to be fair.
Kind of has like the Top Gun logo kind of
a little bit. Yeah. But if we're looking at the badge above his holster, that is a colonel's rank, like almost exactly. And I always say here, we're the show that sweats the small stuff. That's a huge thing for me. He's not going to just go, oh, I like everything I've ever done, and I'm just going to wear it all over my body. It doesn't work that way. He would not have a colonel rank when he is a general. It's just, if he were to walk into 7-Eleven, he's going to get accosted by real vets and go, where'd you serve? What, he's going to get blasted on YouTube for wearing stuff he shouldn't be wearing.
True.
And I have a hard time. I'll get reconciling his character with who he is and all that, a West Point graduate is going to just like, because I feel like it.
Because I feel like it.
All right, what you got?
Now, I get what you're saying. That's all good, and I agree with you on a logical level. Okay? But what if, like, in his mind, he's like, well, I'm gonna keep this on my colonel's rank and my airline pilot, because that's the one that he got as a kid. You know what I'm saying? So he kept that one on him, and he keeps his colonel rank. And then when he has the helmet on, he's the general, right? Let's say things get too crazy. Things get too out of control.
Okay. Go on.
He finds the closest Joe that he can and says, "Oh, you're the general now." I'm
totally legit. It seems totally legit. Why not?
And he can sell car insurance.
yeah. Go to the general and save some time.
As soon as you said that, though, I was just like, but what if he did it like, I don't want to take the responsibility. I need an out. Like I need a parachute. You know what I mean? Like just in case.
I could see a higher ranked general. You know, what's all this stuff on your jacket? What's that?
General Hawk meets General Ross.
This is my little orphan Annie decoder ring. I keep it on my jacket. It was my favorite show growing up. Yes. Okay. What's that? These are wax fangs I got in my most favorite Halloween of 1971.
Oh, that pin? Yeah, don't worry about that pin.
I just start pinning random crap to my jacket. This was my first ticket stub to the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. I don't know why I picked any of those examples, but okay. So that's my most egregious nitpick. The next one would be he has a shotgun which doesn't use cartridges, and he's got a grenade launcher which uses, like rounds. Where's does he just have one each? Like one, does he Barney Fife now? Like where's his ammo? Do you even ammo, bro?
It's in his bomber jacket. It's just,
yeah,
there you go.
It's pinned to the back.
Inside,
no, it's just inside. Like he unzips and they're like,
like Joker.
Yeah,
That's not blow. That's
or the Punisher when he has like the trench coat look.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I don't know. I love this figure. I keep it nearby. He's right here. Actually, the best thing I ever did for him was buy him a Gridiron Gear baseball cap. I like that a lot more. But yeah. Oh, and another little thing. I feel like one of those pistols aren't special enough. Like I feel like he should come with, like we talked about, like a maybe the gold gun or some kind of hand cannon that would be,
right.
If a general is going to get out in the battlefield, he's not going to just bring whatever, right? He's going to bring, this is Daisy. I call her Daisy because, I shot some daisies with it first, or I don't know,
It's funny because the original release of Duke,
he was out shooting flowers. Sorry.
What happened, Scotty?
It's funny because the original release Duke had like a golden pistol. It was the crappy like sci-fi mold, but it was still had like
right.
gold.
Yeah. That's right.
Deco version.
You're talking about the V1 in the classified line, Duke. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. He had a lot of
and
gold.
Even the redeco of that. It was still the golden pistol. He just had the silver assault rifle.
Right.
Which I have that version, not the OG.
Yeah. This guy. That's the one you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I swapped out his lower legs. I like him a lot better. But yeah, no, that's true. They could have just thrown that gun in there, and I probably would have been. I mean, it's the style of the gun is not quite what I was looking for, but at least it looks special to him,
Yes.
Kind of like at the end of it, we talked just before we got on that about the end of Retaliation when they.
I think we were talking about that when you showed us Patton's jacket. So
oh, did we?
Yes, that's when we brought it up.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's where they got
MacArthur,
the
Eisenhower.
This was Patton's gun.
And then
That's right.
Which
That's right. I'll cut that out. No, this was Patton's gun. I'm going into war. You know, like that's. I feel like that would be here because that's more sentimental to him than. So okay, Scotty, what have you got? Any thoughts? Steve's already trying to defend his choice for picking this figure. So what have you got?
Well, I mean, given that I didn't have Hawk even like in the 25th anniversary, so I have a bit more of a. So this is like actually the first Hawk I've gotten. So
right,
and I do like his like Yo-Jo patch. It like gives. I
kind of like it too. It's fun. I like it.
It gives like team leader vibes, given that he has the team logo on his.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I really do like the figure overall. I would give it a pretty decent grade, but that bothers me.
The nitpicks, the small stuff.
Yeah, that's what we do here. We sweat the small stuff.
Now we do. I mean, like we really, really do.
Yeah. All right. So, who's the brightest star? We'll let our guest go first.
Absolutely.
Scotty Cameron, who is your go-to version 2 classic, version 1 classified?
I might have to go with the version 1 classified. I just a lot of the attention to detail. Like I know like the little logo is a bit like unrepresented, but I do like the patches on his shoulders, and I do like the medals he has under his.
Well, that's all the time for Scotty today.
And I think this grenade launcher does communicate the artillery specialty. This is.
I mean, I can accept that. Honestly, the shotgun's not a bad include either because, you know, he's probably not riding out in the middle of a big battle, but if someone were to infiltrate or come up, he would probably want to have a shotgun.
He wants that.
That's right. That's right. He'd want to add that for close quarter stuff. So I can accept that. Like if that was my biggest nitpick, I would say, oh, that's fine. I can, I can take a minute and breathe and I'll pick that one. But that little bugger right there just got you. It's in my soul. All right, Steve. All right, Steve. Tell us why you like the classified one better.
Because it's better. Like, no. But yeah, that's pretty much for me. Again, I'm a fan of progress, man. I like the modernization of certain things. And this happens to be one of those figures that I like the classified version better. It has more detail to it. The salt and pepper hair, great. Also,
it is.
Eyebrows on that one dude, that's not a good look. That makes me nervous. Like, look at it. Like, no, man, look at that thing. Like, he already knows. Like, he's not surprised at anything you do. Like,
General Hawk, can you believe that? I'm not surprised.
No,
obviously.
I'm not surprised. No one's gonna want it anywhere near you. I know it's a great people repellent.
All right. Well, I'm guessing you guys probably already know where I'm going with this. I can't, as a West Point graduate, I cannot accept that he would wear make something up. And maybe they did. They just happened to pick something that looked exactly like something else. But I cannot accept that he's just wearing whatever he wants. Just not exactly. Let me say that differently. Not that he can wear whatever he wants, because obviously this isn't exactly, generals have a little more leeway, but to wear the wrong rank, no.
But you see the patch that he has, right? Yo-Jo, fun guy, right?
He got the battle cry on his shoulder.
He's the party general.
I'm just saying, we all know, yes, G.I. Joe is a specialized force, but no matter which way you said that, they have their own style. They're not subject to regulation on anything. at all. Look at some of the cartoons.
So what you're saying is he goes to Disney and he trades pins with all the cashiers.
That's what you do.
Just like
that dude is world traveled, man.
I'm gonna put that on my jacket.
Yes. Thank you very much. And you're welcome.
Okay. All right. Well, I lose this one. That's all right.
2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Scotty.
Okay. Well,
it's usually me. I'm usually
be that as it may. Now it's the time where we cast an actor or actress in a live action role of Hawk in a little thing we call casting call. All right, casting call. So again, we'll let the guest go first. Do you have pictures? Do you want to share, or do you want me to just search for someone?
Okay.
All right. So get it on the screen you want, and then I will. I think you do that. Do you have a present option?
Let me see.
Should be somewhere below. Oh, there you go.
Can you see that?
And add it to stage.
Let's see. Okay, I see it. Yeah. So my first call, because I looked up actors from Colorado, and I looked, Don Cheadle was listed, and so I was like, oh, he plays Rhodey in the Marvel movies, War Machine, who is a very and so obviously he grew up. He was from Kansas City, Missouri, which is where I was born, but he grew up in high school in Denver, Colorado.
Right.
And so so we're obviously it's colorblind casting because the character of Hawk.
Hey, you could have picked anybody, and we don't. There's Steve. What are we?
Rebels.
That's right.
You got it, Scotty.
Rebels here. I cast Carl Weathers as Gung Ho. So no, we don't worry about that here. This is whoever can do the job the best. And honestly, I'm kind of down for Don Cheadle as Hawk. I think that would really work.
Yes, I really like him as War Machine and Rhodey, and that's why I actually went with this image because it's very Hawk-like.
Yeah, it helps when you can get a picture of them wearing the outfit. Yeah. All right, you got another one?
Yeah, let me see if.
All right.
Let me again. This. Another Marvel actor, J.J. Field, who is actually grew up. He's actually born in Colorado and grew up there. He played Union Jack in the first Captain America movie. This is him in the.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good reach. And that one good.
I have no idea who this is. Was there a Union Jack in the Captain America movie?
Well, yeah, the character he plays is Union Jack in the comics, but he's never wearing.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that they don't recognize. Like
because he's not wearing the Union Jack costume. He's just one of the Howling Commandos. It's
Winter Soldier.
He's a Howling Command. Okay, I'm with you now.
Yeah.
Okay.
J.J. Field is the actor's name.
Okay.
F-E-I-L-D.
Sure.
And so this actually, I think this works for like a version 1, even though we're doing version 2. I think this strikes me more like the V1 Hawk who was before.
Okay. Yeah, that's a strong choice. I think I like Don Cheadle. I like that one quite a bit.
Okay.
I think I'm stuck with that one.
All right, Steve. Definitely.
Let's see what Mr. Writing Dad has for us.
All right.
Tom Hanks.
From Saving Private Ryan, man.
Wow.
That image right there, I can see it. It's not flashy, but he's in the muck. He's in the muck with the guys, and he's the leader. And that's how he earned his stripes according to the file card. He was coming up, and so that's my pick for that. I also picked someone else.
Okay.
This might be a little out there, but
I've
been watching a lot of Shogun lately. All right, and I like when you see Hawk. When I picture Hawk, it's that you respect this man.
Right.
You know, this dude just commands it also, but he's also there with you. You know he's in it, and he'll handle business if he has to.
Right.
So let me share the screen. Boop. Stop sharing that one. Hiroyuki Sanada.
Yeah. He was my pick for. Actually, he was our pick for Storm Shadow, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was. But that version of him, you know, again, is the show playing? You know, giving me a bias here. Yes.
Yeah.
But I like that. Like at least the aura of him. You know, I like that.
Right.
You know, what he represents. But actor wise, Tom Hanks.
Yeah. No, I can see that too. You know, it's funny that you said that the show playing bias, because we watched the Fallout series, and
I love that series.
And I'm like, ooh, who can I cast Walton Goggins as? You know, and I know now who I'm going to cast him as, but
funny, he was already in a G.I. Joe movie.
That's right. He was he was in Retaliation, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the warden who was like, here's your new cellmates, Destro, Cobra Commander, and I got one nice for you, Snake Eyes. And then it's revealed that it was Storm Shadow pretending to be Snake Eyes.
That's right. Yeah, he's I've always been entertained by him, but he's taken his game up another level or something. He's just, maybe he's always been this good, but he was really good in Justified. I really liked him in Justified.
He's Cecil in Invincible, who's the head of the GDA, who's basically a Hawk character.
No, okay. All right. Well, so I have two choices. My first, and normally I have one for like a ensemble and one like a big budget. Both of these were probably more for ensemble, but I think they're both solid choices. My first choice is Eric Dane from The Last Ship and Grey's Anatomy, and he's actually wearing the jacket.
Oh,
but so he was McSteamy, one of those guys from Grey's Anatomy. He married the Revlon girl from the 90s or whatever her name was, Rebecca Gayheart or something, and that's all I know. That's her name. You weren't expecting me to go teen makeup, were you?
All right.
Can you tell I'm completely disinterested in anything Grey's Anatomy? He was in some show, I don't know, but this Last Ship show is pretty cool. It was on TBS or USA or something like that. TNT. The idea is that I think so. The idea is that, but it's still good. Other than that,
so maybe he doesn't have as much influence.
Yeah, I think he just kind of phoned it in, and that's why it turned out good.
Maybe
he didn't really get in there and get his hands dirty.
Bay's name for like attention or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But yeah, so the idea is that I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it, but that did something caused the world to not be the same as far as was there. I don't think it was a pandemic or zombies or anything like that, but there's something broke down in the world, and they were out on deployment in the ocean, and they come back and like, oh, the world's busted, and we're the last ship, the last piece of, you know, America left or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but it's a good watch. At least the first 2 seasons or whatever of it were. And so Eric Dane's my first. Now this choice, the next choice, is I'm particularly proud of because he's a real soldier and West Point alum.
Oh,
Mark Valley. He's been in Fringe, ER, Human Target, and Body of Proof, whatever those are. But I know him from Fringe. So he was. I think he kind of resembles him a little bit. His eyebrow game is obviously not quite what version 1 or version 2 classic Hawks is, but
that's all right. You could paste those things on. You know? Make them look real.
So those would be my choices, and I believe he's from Colorado. No, he's not. I don't know where he's from. I forgot.
Because you're a rebel too.
Because I'm a rebel. I'm a forgetful rebel. So
he's so rebellious.
Yeah, it's just dripping off me. So yeah, that's it. Once we get the 82 through 84 characters worked out, we'll drop that checklist off because right now we don't have some of the ones we've done are not here, but Hawk is there on the right hand side with a little X over him because he is now complete. Lots of characters to go still. We see Duke there on the left. He's got a classified figure out now. Rakonda's got a classified figure out now. Doc is coming. Blowtorch is coming. Cobra Commander. The Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander is out, but I'm looking for the classic one. Yeah. And on the right, we still have several there to do too. So got a lot of stuff in store for you. So our special guest today is Scotty Cameron. Scotty is a veteran of the G.I. Joe chat rooms and of many content creators, and he's been a fan of ours for quite some time, and we're glad to have him here, and I'm glad to get to know him. Scotty, you're clearly of a different age than my aged behind, and you're also younger than Skinny Momoa down here. So
finally somebody younger than me, though.
Not quite as obvious to me how you got involved with G.I. Joe. What got you into G.I. Joe?
So when I was like in elementary school, like second grade, I watched a lot of Saturday morning cartoons. I mostly watched Kids WB to watch The Batman from 2004.
Yes.
But once the Kids WB programming block ended, I changed it to 4Kids TV to catch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe Sigma 6. And so I was like, oh, these are cool, just like Batman. And so I'm guessing I watched like the tail end of Sigma 6 because like eventually when I changed the channel to 4Kids TV, it was like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was moved to like, conflict with some of the Kids WB, and I never saw Sigma 6 again. But watching Sigma 6, it's like, oh, these are cool characters, the Joes and the Cobras, but I didn't watch it long enough to catch anyone's names.
Right.
But I recognized the character design. So when I watched Family Guy Sunday nights on Animation Domination, and they had a cutaway of like Flint telling Chris not to drink, it was Bill Ratner doing it too.
Right.
You know what? 3 and 4 car accidents are caused by drunk drivers. Now we know, and knowing is half the battle. Or a Cobra Commander telling the FCC, "You have to censor television, you fools." It's like I recognize those characters in G.I. Joe, but it was like when I saw Cobra, I was just like, "Oh, that's King Cobra," because I knew Cobra was the bad guys, but I didn't catch any of the characters' names. But so I'd always like had this like fondness for G.I. Joe. It was just after Sigma 6, there wasn't much. Unfortunately, much in the way of like until the live action movies.
Right.
And so come 2009, I check, my dad checks out G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra and Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. I'm like 11 at the time. So it's like, oh, it's cool. They got these Delta 6 accelerator suits, explosions. I wasn't really thinking about the actual quality of the film until I watched it like a few years ago.
Yeah.
Preparations like, oh my God, this movie was terrible. But I was 11, and so that's where like, and I actually learned Cobra Commander, Duke, Baroness, the names of the characters from watching that movie. It's like, this is cool. And then I started reading the comics. Like I didn't have this, but I was reading the end of like the Devil's Due era comics and the beginning. And that's really where my fondness for G.I. Joe came in. It was just, I love the comics, and I saw Retaliation in theaters for my 15th birthday because freshman year of high school. And I was still in this phase where it's like explosions, action, good, not really thinking about.
Yeah. It's got The Rock in it.
Yeah, yes, exactly. The Rock, Bruce Willis, the Punisher, Ray Stevenson, who was Firefly.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
And as far as like the toys went, I didn't have a lot growing up. It was mostly like what my parents would find, and they'd prioritize a lot of like the superhero toys because there was an abundance being like of those from the 2000s, like the Justice League toy line and the Marvel movie toy lines. And And I also had a preference for like 6-inch figures. So classified didn't start until more recently. Right. But I did have like, I think Duke and Flint on the Joe side, a few Cobra Army builders. I even think Cobra Commander himself wasn't many, but and I'd play with those with my Marvel and DC action figures, bring them up. And sometimes Duke would be Steve Rogers out of the Captain America costume. Other times he would be Duke.
Nice.
That's cool.
But yeah. And so it wasn't, and then like I had stopped collecting action figures because Lego had did the Marvel DC superhero lines. I did make a few like custom G.I. Joe minifigures. I made like Duke using like Star Wars Rebel pieces. Snake Eyes, the second wave of Space Police Officer minifigures, like a black visor on instead of like the red one. And then gave him a katana. And then Cobra Commander was just a Mandalorian with a red cape.
Nice.
Emulating the Crate Cobra Commander from the IDW comics after Cobra Commander himself was killed.
Right.
And so, but I like come my like junior year and senior year of high school, I was just mostly just collecting comics, G.I. Joe, Marvel Heroes, Spawn, Transformers, and Star Trek. And it wasn't until like the Snake Eyes movie came out, and I had noticed they had started doing 6-inch figures, the classifieds. It was like, oh, these are cool. I didn't have Snake Eyes growing up, and it's on the scale of like the Marvel Legends. It's like I might get that, and I've been collecting classified and the current Marvel Legends and DC figures ever since.
Yeah, the comics are really what I was into. The toys and I watched the cartoons as a youngster, but the comics are what made it real for me.
Yes,
and
that's the same.
That opened up the world for me, because I can have my own little battles, but and treat a certain guy a certain way. But when I see what he does and how he acts and that sort of thing, it made it like I said, made it real for me. So
and plus, as Josh Blaylock said, they actually kill characters in the comics.
Yeah.
I mean, Lady J died in the Devil's Due era, in which I was reading that when I first got into the G.I. Joe comics, as well as the early IDW stuff, where they kill Cobra Commander and Jinx. Whereas even Blaylock was like, they wouldn't let me kill Cobra Commander, but they'd let Mike Costa over at IDW kill Cobra Commander.
It's not fair. I want to kill somebody.
They wouldn't let him kill Hawk, so he had to settle for Lady J instead.
Yeah.
And instead, Hawk got paralyzed.
Yeah.
But I still have like it's the IDW disavowed trades, which collect the Devil's Due stuff.
Right.
The classic G.I. Joe by IDW, which was collecting the Marvel stuff.
Okay. Well, good. So last question, what is your single favorite piece of G.I. Joe media?
I might have to go with
it can be a specific few, or it can be a group of whatever, or an episode, or anything.
I might have to go with that. It's either the new Duke series or the Cobra miniseries that Mike Costa did, where it's Chuckles infiltrating Cobra, and he thinks he's just
gone check that out.
Mr. X, but it's actually two people. It's Tomax and
that's right. Don't ruin it. He hasn't read it yet. He doesn't know.
Oh,
hold on. Let me see. I think I have it right here somewhere.
Oh,
look for these. Look for these, Steve. Look for these.
I found the first one at Half Price Books, and the second one I found at Brute Squad Entertainment.
Right. I think there's one more too. I think there's
there's
3 of those. I've got it somewhere.
It's a Serpentor's Coil, and then
I think I did.
Death of Cobra Commander, which is the next one.
Oh, that would be sweet.
I'm still looking for that one. I did also find Mike Costa's Cobra Files, which still continues with that, but it's centered on Flint and Lady J. And Tomax plays like a Hannibal Lecter style role in that. And then last thing Costa did was Snake Eyes, Agent of Cobra, which I have
we're all big fans of Snake Eyes here.
Snake Eyes for life.
Snake Eyes for life. Hashtag Snake Eyes for life. So, well, that's awesome. So that's the end of the show. Scotty Cameron, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate
you're very
it.
welcome. I would love to come back on if you ever decide to.
Yeah, certainly.
Man.
Do you have anything you'd like to plug? Any projects? Anything?
Well, my socials, Scotty Sackham on Threads, Twitter, Instagram, and all that. I am also on Scotty Sackham at Blue Sky on Blue Sky as well.
Okay, and we'll put all those links.
Yeah, sorry. I also use a His Tank and Toy Arc and TFW where I post like my toy collections in the threads, and then I use a Letterboxd, Goodreads, and Comic Vine, Giant Bomb, and GameSpot to write video game, comic book, and movie reviews.
Nice.
And I do blogs over on Medium. Those are more current event based, so not something unless your audience likes following current events. It's mostly that, but I do like occasionally bring like pop culture into it. Like I wrote about how like the Saw movies give like a accurate like critique of the U.S. healthcare system, and a bit of like some of the stuff like superhero media and sort of like the commentary it has. And I might even do like something like about like G.I. Joe 4 and its commentary about like extremist groups, particularly an event that happened a couple of years ago in DC, and how Strike First from G.I. Joe 4 effectively represents those kind of extremist groups.
Okay. Well, that sounds cool. I wish you'd get involved in something. You know, just sitting around twiddling your thumbs.
Well, actually,
no, I'm just kidding. That's all really awesome stuff. I'm totally kidding. That it all sounds really cool, and everyone should go check that out. I will post the links in the description.
I've reviewed a few G.I. Joe comics on Comic Vine if you want.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. Well, everybody check that out.
That's more something your audience would be into, was G.I. Joe comics.
I'm still trying to figure out exactly who my audience is. I love every single one of you.
Yep.
But, well, that's yet to be determined what they're into.
The fans are, you can't pigeonhole them. We can't pigeonhole them.
I think we're all just a bunch of rebels.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Just rebels.
Yeah.
Steve, why don't you tell them a little bit about what you do?
Go to thewritingdad.com. There you can see updates on the new projects I got coming out, which is the short stories that I love to write. A lot of the times, me and my children will go through the stories, and they are my biggest critiques. Also, if you haven't noticed, I love being a dad. Fatherhood is tough. And I like to know that there's somebody out there that goes through the same craziness that I go through. So come to thewritingdad.com, sign up for the newsletter, and we get bits of advice, bits of experiences, and all the things that we go through as parents.
That's right. All right. Again, those links will be in the description, as well as links to my social medias. I like to take toy pictures and just random thoughts and things, and they'll be there, TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. That'll all be in the description. Hopefully you enjoyed the show today. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe. Would mean the world to me.
Subscribe to the Spotify Q&As.
Yeah. You're the one. No. We are on Spotify, and we're actually new to Apple stuff because I have an iPhone now, and I thought I'd show them some love. So we're in a new spot now. So, if you do have a chance to review us anywhere, hey, maybe just drop us some stars. Say whatever you like. Yeah. We'd love it. We'd appreciate it. Good or bad. Just let us know what you think.
Come on. We are a treat.
So that wraps it up, everyone. Thank you for watching. Yo, Joe, everybody.
Later, guys.